Okay, good afternoon. Today's Shir, Leilishmas, Elimelech, Ben Levi, Yitzchak, Kosher Shmuel Chaim, Ben Ephraim, Esther Basara, Osher Ben Yosef, William and Helen, Rachel Bas Yosef, David Ben Avram, Fred Ben Richard, Shvi Dov Ben Chaim Pesach, Yitzchak Ben Sarah, Devorah Bas Yitzchak, Avram and Mordechai David, Reuven Ben Shmuel, Shana Bas Elchana, and Chana Golda Bas Yisrael, Yeshua Ben Shmuel, Chaim Ben Fega, Yaakov Ben Yitzchak, Mordechai Netzach Ben Rivka, Chaim Ben Gedalia, Zalman Leib Ben Moshe, Chaim Eliyahu Ben Yosef Moshe, Amichai Ben Yaakov and Gedalia Ben Tzvi Ruvain, Leila Nishmatam. Today we'll be speaking about Our Lady Rabbi's Kosher. But before we begin...
What makes a man rabbi?
Well, okay, we'll talk about it, okay? Before we begin, what's the difference between a Haredi wedding, a conservative wedding, and a reform wedding? Chava, what's the difference?
Let's see.
Let's see, a Haredi wedding, the mother of the Kala is pregnant. Conservative wedding, sometimes the Kala is pregnant. At a reform wedding, sometimes the rabbi is pregnant. So is that so bad? Maybe lady rabbis are kosher. Who says that they're not kosher? Right? The Jerusalem Post had a headline on December 7th, which was Pearl Harbor Day. The headline was, Cheap Rabbi Yosef attacks Soar rabbis for having a lady rabbi.
They didn't.
Well, according to Chief Rabbi Yosef, in December 7th J Post, attacks Soar rabbis, the national religious, for having a lady rabbi. So is that so bad? Well, let's see, what's the issue over here?
I think that was false.
Well, that's what the paper reported, right?
Maybe they haven't.
According to Chief Rabbi Yosef, anyway, that's what he said at the Matzah Shabbos Shir. But is that so terrible? So let's talk about the hashkafic considerations. Should there be women rabbis? What is the problem? Does it go against our Masorah? Does the Masorah ever change? So maybe it's, let's analyze the pros and cons and what is the problem exactly of a woman to be a rabbi, or is there a problem b'chlal? So before we get to our sheets, you should know something. It's not on your sheets, but the Sefer HaChinuch, written by Rav Aaron Halevi Moshe in the 1200s, the book of mitzvot, the Sefer HaChinuch, Rav Aaron Halevi Barcelona, written in the early 1200s, one of the greatest Rishonim that we ever have, writes a mitzvah kuf nun bet. You don't have it on your sheet, but you can look it up. The Sefer HaChinuch is translated into English. Mitzvah 152 in the Sefer HaChinuch is that a Kohen who drank wine is not permitted to enter the Mikdash. And the Sefer HaChinuch says, included in that mitzvah, kuf nun bet, a Kohen that drank wine is not allowed to enter the Mikdash to do avodah. Included in that mitzvah, says the Chinuch, is also a rabbi that drank wine is not permitted to what? To paskin shilas. Says the Sefer HaChinuch, it's incredible, Moshe. I don't know how they learned this in yeshiva. Sefer HaChinuch mitzvah kuf nun bet. Umenias haraya b'chol mokom b'chol zman b'zakarim. This mitzvah, that a rabbi who drank wine is not permitted to paskin shilas, is in effect all times and all places. B'zacharim v'chein be'isha chachama haruya l'harot. And this law applies. Hear this, Mickey. A isha chachama. What does that mean? A woman that's a chacham. If she drank wine, she's also not permitted to what? The paskin shilas.
You mean she would be
So that's what it's incredible. This is a super chief rabbi. You hear this? So Baruch, you hear this? This is Sefer HaChinuch of Aaron Halevi in Barcelona, writing in the 1200s in mitzvah kuf nun bet, the mitzvah that a Kohen is not permitted to drink wine during the avodah, including this mitzvah, not just a Kohen, but any chacham who drank wine is not permitted to render halachic decision. V'chein be'isha, you don't have it on your sheet, but you can look it up. Mitzvah 152. V'chein be'isha chachama.
Not a wise woman.
Isha chachama hahuya leharot. A wise woman who is capable of rendering halachic decisions. If she drank wine, she's also not permitted to what? To render halachic decisions. Clearly implying that if she's not shikr, then she what? She can. This is not a Tzohar Rabbi. Abraham, this is the Sefer Achinuch, a super Haredi from the 1200s in Barcelona, Spain, who wrote the book of mitzvot. Rabbi Levi. So mitzvah 152. A woman, chachama, who drank wine, cannot render halachic decisions. Clearly implying, Moshe, that if she didn't drink wine, so what's the problem?
152.
Mitzvah kuf nun bet, Sefer Achinuch. So what's the problem? The problem is that he seems to be what? A minority opinion. Because there's a pasuk in the Torah in Parshas Shoftim, Soim tosum alecha melech. You shall place a king over you. Soim tosum alecha melech. You shall place a king over you. So the Talmud says clearly, melech v'lo malka. Melech v'lo malka. A Jewish king can only be a male and not a female. Okay? Right? Male v'lo malka. Melech v'lo malka. This is how the Talmud codified, and the Rambam also says it. Ein ma'amidin isha b'malchus. The Rambam codified Hilchas Malachim chapter 1 that we only appoint a male as a king and not a female. Okay? This is what the Rambam says. So the question is, so the Rambam says not just a king, but in any leadership position, we only appoint male and not female. So the Radvaz asked the question on the spot. In Hilchas Malachim chapter 1, the Radvaz asked, you know who the Radvaz was? The Rebbe of the Ari. He lived in Egypt in the early 1500s. He wrote the commentary on the Rambam. He died at 104. So he asked, what's the Rambam talking about? A woman can't be a leadership position. What about the Devorah? Isha Neviah, he shofet at Israel. In the book of what? Shoftim, it says clearly that Devorah, not only was she a prophetess, but she was also a judge. A shofetet. So how could the Rambam rule that a woman can't be a judge or a leader position when, what about the Devorah Neviah? This is the Radvaz's question, okay? Yes?
As far as I know, goes according to the Parsha.
Right.
So what does he base that on in the Parsha?
In Mitzvah 152, the mitzvah is that a Kohen who drank wine is not permitted to enter the Beis HaMikdash. The Sefer Chinuch says included in that mitzvah, according to Torah Shabbat, is any Chacham that drank wine is also not allowed to render halachic decisions. That falls on the mitzvah 152. Okay? And he says, and also Isha Chachama, who drank wine, cannot paskin. Clearly implying that what? If she didn't drink wine, Abraham, she can't. Very strange. But the Rambam seems to disagree. He says only a man can be what? A posek, a dayan, a rab. And then the Radvaz asked the question, what about Devorah, Isha Neviah? Says clearly not only was she a prophet in the book of Shoftim, but she was also what? A judge of Israel. Right? So what's the answer? So Tosfos asked this question. So he answers hara'at sha'ah. You know what the answer of? You pull hara'at sha'ah out of a bag of tricks. Remember? Yehuda Himmel Zecha was crying Lavracha. Whenever you don't know what the answer, what do you say? Hara'at sha'ah. So this is what the Tosfot and the Radvaz answer. Devorah was a Navi. Don't try this at home. A Navi can do hara'at sha'ah. How could Esther Hamalka live with a Goyish king? It's against Gilead Ayot. Esther was a Neviah. How could Eliyahu Hanavi tell the Yidden to build a Mizbeach on Har HaKarmel, Shchutei Chutz is Chayiv Karet, Harat Shah. So since Devorah was a prophetess, this was a temporary injunction where B'Toras Navi, she was permitted to be the judge, but don't try this at home. Okay? This is what the Radvaz and Tosfot say. Okay? But normally a woman cannot be appointed to a position of authority. We'll see why not. And Devorah was different because she was a Navi, and a Navi is what? Harat Shah, it's called a temporary injunction. Now if you look in the book of Kings too, when Shlomo Melech built the Beis HaMikdash, that Yom Kippur, he ordered the Yidden to what? To eat. How can you do that? In Kippur, you're supposed to fast, not feast. Harat Shah, Navi can do that. But again, you have to have a resume. Like a Navi, Devorah had a resume. Eliyahu Navi told the Jews to bring a carbon to Hashem on Mount Carmel. That's 94 miles outside the Beis HaMikdash. I measured it. Shchutei Chutz is Chayiv Karet, but a Navi can do that. So Devorah is a Navi, and don't learn from her anything. But besides her, a woman cannot be a Rav or a Dayan. So this is the Rambam's opinion, but you see the Chinuch clearly disagrees. Right, Moshe? Clearly. Now, if you take a look at your sheet number 3, please. It's one paper with 2 sides. The side that says number 3. What did Moshe Feinstein say about this? See side number 3? I have them circled on top there. Yes, everybody have it? Everybody. Moshe Feinstein has 2 tshuvot concerning appointing a woman to run a kashrut hashgacha. He didn't speak about being a rabbi. What about can she be the head of the mashgichim? So in the course of those tshuvot, on top of side 3, he deals in detail with the issue of appointing a woman to leadership roles. What's the problem? The problem is maybe it's not sniut. Maybe the guys will flirt with her, David. Maybe the guys will sexually harass her. You know how men are. Some men, if they can't control themselves. Maybe it's a problem with sniut. He finds that although many Rishonim do agree with the Rambam that it's prohibited for a woman to be what? In a leadership position, many others do not agree. You see that? I have it in capital, N-O-2, you see that? Many don't agree. Rav Moshe rules that we should normally rule in such cases like the Rambam, that a woman should not be in a leadership role because maybe it's not sniut. She opens up herself to be what? Sexually harassed. But in special circumstances, right, he's prepared to be lenient and rule against the Rambam that a woman is permitted to be what? A leader, the head of the Mashgiach, right? So this, of course, does not in any sense imply that Rav Moshe would be lenient in debate on women rabbis. It does show, however, that what? Is subject to dispute. Now, source number 9 is incredible. Why, Sam, it's incredible? See source number 9? Source number 9, it's from Rabbi Elio Bakshi Daron. You can't get more Haredi than him. Who's Rabbi Elio Bakshi Daron? He was the chief rabbi of Israel. And he wrote a tshuva called Torah Shabbat Peh. This source number 9. Okay, fasten your seatbelts up. This is Elio Bakshi Daron. I made copies. You shouldn't think I'm off the wall. Elio Bakshi Daron is a super Haredi rabbi, was the former chief rabbi of Israel. In the source number 9, he writes as follows. Mikala Omar, Nire, Sheisha Viger Yecholim L'Shamish K'manahigim. Yiddish, a woman and a ger, they can serve Mazeh Manhigim. Leaders. Va'afilu K'doila Hadar. Bakshi Daron, this is not a conservative rabbi, Abraham. This is a super Haredi rabbi who was the chief rabbi of Israel. He says that women can not only be manhigim, afilu kigdoila hador. What does that mean? They can even be the giants of the generation. Kigdoila, underlined it, right? Kigdoila hador. Shekoach, source number 9. Shekoach hanegosam mechayevet es hasamchut. What does that mean? shekoach hanagatam mechayevet et hasamchut. Their authority and their approval comes from the acceptance of the people. If people accept their authority and approval, then a woman cannot just be a leader, but he says what? Gedoyla hadar. Yehuda, are you believing this? Huh? Isha v'ger, a woman and a ger, yachayla l'shamesh moira hara. A woman can be mishamesh mazeh moira hara. Halachic decisor. David, do you believe this? This is not a conservative rabbi, Ira. Hope you have the sheet. You have the sheet? I'm not hallucinating, right? Moira hara, v'lil moy Torah, uposkim. They can teach Lame Torah. They can teach Torah and what? Lame Torah and to Paskin Shilas. Tafkidam shasmuchos behem nikvash lefi kshurei vamudim vasamchut yoneket miakashurim yecholim l'shamesh behem isha v'ger. Their authority and their approval comes from the acceptance of the people, and therefore people accept them and they're capable, then they can be Manhigim, Gedoyla Hadar, and Moira Hara means they can render Abraham what? Halachic decisions. This is a woman. Yechaylim Laham Mudun Libli Kafiyah. They are able to judge Mazeh Libli Kafiyah. What? Yechaylim Hay Mudun, right? They're able to judge Libli Kafiyah without being forced. What does that mean? Yesh Safek. Im yecholim heim lekabel samchuyot. There's a suffix whether they could accept mazeh samchuyot. Authority al yidei bechirot demokratis. Hear this? Shedinam kemi shakal kiblu aleim. If the public accepts them, v'ladas harbe min aposkim. In many poskim.
There's a fake in the one before.
Yeah, but now said the das harbe min aposkim hadovra mutar. Many poskim say that what? That the matter is permitted for women to be what? The leaders. V'lechein bi'isha. You see that? V'lechein bi'isha, and therefore a woman yesh lahakel b'davar. You can be lenient in the matter that a woman can be what? A rabbinic leader. Say what, David? I'm not hallucinating. Rabbinic leader, because whether a woman can be a halachic decisor or leader is a machlokas rishonim between the Rambam and the Chinuch. Usually the Chinuch follows the Rambam 100%, but we see the Chinuch says that a woman can be a halachic decisor. So since it's a machlokas, b'chol tafkid yesh lechalek brurois im yesh bo mikoach hasamchut or mikoach hanhaga. So, according to Rabbi Daron Shlita, the former chief Sephardi rabbi of Israel, he wrote this in Tufshin Lamed Tes. You hear this? From 5739, quite a while back. And he took a lot of flack for it, but he still got elected to be chief rabbi of Israel. Wow. So he sides Avram with the Sefer HaChinuch, that there's nothing wrong with what? With women to be halachic decisor, or even to serve as a rabbinic leader. Okay, now what about Rav Soloveitchik? Source number 10. Source number 10. What about Rav Soloveitchik, right? The Rav Soloveitchik believed that women serving as communal rabbis was forbidden because it is minul kahal and because it's a position of sarara. The Rav held, like the Rambam, Rav Soloveitchik, that women should not be communal rabbis because it's a problem of what? Of tzniut. What? To be appointed as over a kahal. Minui means to be appointed over the kahal, and it's a position of sarara. What does sarara mean? From the word sar. Authority. Right? So, logic dictates that the Rav Soloveitchik would also oppose rabbinic ordination.
Supposing.
Supposing. Right? Supposing. Now, second paragraph, source 10 Avram. This in no way contravenes the fact that a large cadre of leading poskim have disagreed to varying extents with Rav Soloveitchik's sole reliance on the Rambam, who says women cannot be what? Rabbinic leaders. His analysis of Sarara, the distinction between Sarara and Minukal. Sarara means a leadership, Minukal means appointed over a congregation. Furthermore, many poskim accept the efficiency of what? The democratic elections, right? As a means of circumventing Sarara considerations and other communal leaderships. Rav Moshe Feinstein held that a woman can be what? The run a kashrut hashgacha. Rav Moshe, on top of source number 3, we see that page 3, that a woman can be appointed to be a mashgiach and give orders to other mashgiachim, right? Now, but the Rav never said for sure. Rav Soloveitchik was never explicit on the issue of what? Of women rabbis, although at least some of his Talmidim, like Herschel Schechter, are clear that he would be fully opposed to women rabbis based on his position on Sarara, that it's not tzniut for a woman to be what? Out there in the front, Sarara. It means that the head of an organization, the head of a shul, a president of a shul, where she has to get up in front of men and make speeches, it's a problem of tzniut. It's a problem of tzniut, okay? So, you look at the bottom of page number 3, note that since 2013, the United Synagogue in the United Kingdom have elected women as what? Presidents of synagogue communities, following a ruling of the London Bet Din that this was not in breach of halacha, it's not a problem of what? Of lack of tzniut. Okay? So if you turn over the page, Avram, to its side number 7. Turn over the page, side number 7, you see that? On side number 7, the other side, right? Women rabbis would never be able to fill all the roles of communal rabbi. The problem is, Rav Soloveitchik's Talmidim say, how could she be a rabbi? She can't be counted for a minyan, right? She can't be a shliach tzibor. She can't be counted for a minyan. So on top of side 7, would their ordination therefore lead to a frustration among women rabbis? She can't be the shliach tzibor. She can't be the bal kaira. She can't be part of the minyan, right? Which would impose pressure to pursue entirely non-halachic choices. Well, we'll talk about that. Could this lead to otherwise less able men being appointed to rabbinic positions?
Yes.
So, right?
Yes.
So, right now, women rabbis would be entirely rejected by a large proportion of the Orthodox world. Would this not therefore introduce a new element of friction and machlokas into the community? At what point does the perceived cost of innovation outweigh the perceived gain? Maybe leave it alone. It's going to cause machlokes, and it's not the Masorah. Devorah was yotze min haklal, harat shah. Are there others fulfilling roles that women can be encouraged to pursue in Jewish learning and teaching? What about education? Toenet bezdin, poseket, should these be encouraged or discouraged? Should there be a title other than rabbi, or is that just semantic? Perhaps the prohibition on innovating in a way which would strengthen the position of sectarian Jewish groups. So where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line, right? So if you look at, again, on side 7, where is the pressure coming from? Is the pressure for women rabbis coming from a secular feminist egalitarian agenda? To what extent are desires for innovation required to be l'shem shemayim? Maybe the intent is not l'shem shemayim. Maybe they just want to keep up with what? Feminism, right?
Women off the wall.
So where's the pressure from women rabbis coming from? Secular feminist egalitarian agenda? Maybe it's not l'shem shemayim. But who cares? The Gemara Psachim in Tainus says that a person should always do mitzvot shelo lishma, shematov shelo lishma, ba lishma. Gemara Psachim, page 50, Tainus, page 7, says a person should always do mitzvot afilu shelo lishma. What does shelo lishma mean? Not for her sake. Who's the her? The Shekhinah. The Shekhinah. Shematov shelo lishma, ba lishma. Remember Nike, just do it. Just do it. If you do the mitzvahs for wrong reasons, you'll graduate to do for right reasons. Just do it, yes? What? Just do it. You see that? I didn't know you're going to wear that t-shirt today, David. I didn't know. Ain't no coinky dinky. David's wearing the t-shirt. Just do it. Psachim, page 50, Tainus 7. A person should just do mitzvah even for selfish reasons. Shematov shelo lishma, ba lishma. You do the mitzvah not for God's sake, for your own sake, so what? Eventually, Masha, you'll graduate. So even though these women are not doing it l'shem shemayim, but eventually you will become shem shemayim. So what are the dangers of refusing to move in an area where there may be some rabbinic discretion? What will be the response of those pushing hard for change with or without rabbinic approval? I'm reading at page 7. To what extent are the arguments of a widest rabbinic role undermined or even delegitimized by the radical and in many cases non-orthodox views or associations of some of the main proponents of the progressive agenda? So where do you draw the line? So take a look at source number 24. Page 7, source number 24. This is an interview with Rabbi Dr. Norman Land. Used to be the Rosh Yeshiva of YU, right, Avram? He retired now? President of YU?
He was the president.
The president of YU. Page 7, source number 24. This is an interview with Rabbi Dr. Norman Land in February 2010. Long time ago, right? Not that long. 6 years ago? More? 7? Source 24. What does he say here, Avram? With me? There are certain things that are acceptable only in the long run. This is Rabbi Lamb talking. I approve of the idea of increasing the role of women in religious life and think it is an important one. At the same time, things have to be done, David, gradually. To have a woman learn Gemara a generation or two ago, like women learn Gemara today, would have been too revolutionary. But with time, things change. Time answers a lot of questions, erodes discomfort, and helps. So my answer, says Rabbi Lamb, when I was asked by a reporter about what do I think about women rabbis, was basically what? What? It's going too fast. I did not say it was wrong. I did not say it was right. It just has not paced itself properly. I was criticized, of course. People asked, you mean that al pi din, they're allowed to become women rabbis? My response was, what? I don't know. Are you sure they're not allowed to be? So this is Rabbi Norman Lamb, the former president of YU, a big Talmud Chacham. So he was asked, you mean al pi din, women can become rabbis? What was his response? I don't know. Are you sure they're not allowed to become rabbis? He didn't say no, right? He didn't say no. And Rav Soloveitchik never said one way or the other, but Rav Herschel Sprecher says that Rav Soloveitchik would be what? Would be against it, right? Right? This is what Rav Herschel Sprecher says. And he, so the problem is, Rav Herschel Sprecher, you don't have it on your sheets, but he says the problem would be, there's a pasuk in Tehillim, Kol Kavuda Bas Melech Penima, right? There's a pasuk in Tehillim, chapter 45, that women traditionally have to be what? Not home, right? Kol Kavuda Bas Melech Penima.
Everything.
What? The glory of the daughter of the king is to remain what? Pinima. Is to remain what? Within, right? To remain within. So therefore, what? So Rav Shechter says, according to Rav Soloveitchik, it's not sniut for a woman to what? To be in a position where everybody looks at her and she stands up in front of a large audience. Because Rav Hershel Shechter said, when a woman makes a bracha, shasani kirtzono. We make a bracha, shasani isha. Why? Because the pain of childbirth is the worst pain in the world. And we couldn't handle, haven't got time for the pain. So we make a bracha, shasani isha, that we couldn't handle the pain of childbirth, Moshe, which is the worst pain in the world. So that's why we make that bracha. But a woman makes the bracha, shasani kirtzono. That you made me, God, exactly the way you are. Shasani, you made me kirtzono, like his will. Right? So therefore, women are more godlike. So the word Shekhinah, the word Mishnah, the word Neshama, the word Torah, the word Mitzvah are all what? Feminine. So women make the bracha Shasani Kirtzono. So Rav Hershel Shechter claims that what? God himself conceals himself. There's a pasuk in Yeshayahu 45, El Mistater. What does El Mistater mean? God who conceals himself. God also conceals himself. He tells Yeshayahu 45, El Mistater. I'm a God that conceals myself. Tzniut. The Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Kohen Gadol can only go what? Once a year. Nobody else can go in there. So Rav Shechter claims, in the name of Rav Soloveitchik, that since women are more godlike, they have to act like God and also be what? Moshe mistater. What does that mean?
Hide themselves.
Stay home.
It's not stay home behind the scenes, not to make a spectacle of themselves. It's not sniut. It opens themselves up, unwanted flirtation problems. Okay? Yes?
Women today go out to work in all fields.
Right.
Even Haredi women.
Even Haredi women.
Even go to work now where there are men around.
Ah.
So how do you explain
Right.
that, what?
Rabbi,
You can't stop progress.
But there is a problem. They do get harassed. Ladies, they get harassed. Okay.
Okay.
That comes with the price of.
Said they don't get arrested at home.
that's
By
right
their wonderful
everywhere.
husbands.
What
Right.
about
Please.
the Kabbalah men? Rabbi,
Nechama Leibowitz, right?
and what
Yeah.
about Golda Meir?
Okay.
They're here because of her.
Okay. Right. Behind every good man is a better woman. Is a better woman.
I got another
Okay.
question that's sort of on the other side
Yeah.
of this question, and that is,
Yeah.
what about women who have really delicate questions and really they don't want to talk to a rabbi, they don't want to talk to a man about it?
Right. So they are yoetzet today. They are yoetzet. They're not called rabbi,
They didn't used to be.
but now they are yoetzet. Right? Yoetzet.
Counselor.
Yes.
What about Nechama Leibowitz? She taught
Shirley just said that.
in front of everybody.
That's right. She taught.
It's only one. And how about, yes, Esther?
How many Nechama Leibowitz do you have, right?
It's in your rights.
Mhm.
There are many women teaching Torah to mixed groups.
To mixed group, okay?
Yes.
So you see, according to the Sefer Chinuch, it's not a problem. According to Rav Bakshi Doron, it's not a problem. And Rav Soloveitchik never ruled on the matter, although Rav Hershel Shechter said that he thinks his Rebbe would be against it. He thinks, because Rav Soloveitchik didn't say, right?
If it was definitely a sore, he would have said.
He didn't say, right? He never said about it. What would the Baal Shem Tov say about this? Oh, fasten your seatbelts. You need that for this one. The Baal Shem Tov asked the question, under the chuppah, how come the Kala remains silent? How come she doesn't say, I do, or I don't? Baal Shem Tov, Ben Yoman asked this question. Why not acknowledge her chassan's words at least acknowledge a nice gold ring that he gave her. Shtum. Yehuda, what's going on? Why can't she open her mouth under the chuppah? The Baal Shem Tov asked this question. Say, I do, I don't. Or at least acknowledge her chassid's loving words. Or at least acknowledge the wedding band. Nothing. Baal Shem Tov explains, listen to this, that under the chuppah, the Kala has reached such an exalted level of Kedusha, we are not ready or able to hear her holy speech. The Kala under the chuppah has reached such a height of Kedusha that our ears are not ready or able to hear her holy speech. But when Mashiach comes, says the Baal Shem Tov, we'll be at a much higher spiritual level. And then, what does God tell Yirmiyahu? Od Yishama Darei Yehuda Ubechutzot Yerushalayim. Od Yishama. When Mashiach comes, we'll hear in the cities of Yehuda, in the streets of Jerusalem, Kol Sasan, the Kol Simcha, Kol Chatan, the Kol Kala. Yiddish is all Baruch. Hashem Tov says when Mashiach comes, God already told Yirmiyahu, then you're going to hear the Kol Sasan, Kol Simcha, Kol Chatan, the Kol Kala. Then the Kala will speak under the chuppah. Because then we'll have reached the exalted level of Kedusha, and then we will be able to what? Ready to hear a holy speech. So according to Baal Shem Tov, you take this further, when Mashiach comes, there'll be what? The Kala will give a drasha under the chuppah. Right? But we're not ready yet. Ira, we're not ready yet, okay? So how far can you what? How far can you push the envelope? So again, you see that the women they can rely, the Sefer Chinuch has breite places. How do you say that? Wide shoulders. And the Bakshi Doron has wide shoulders, and he says clearly that women rabbis will be Beseder. And Rav Soloveitchik never ruled on it, but Rav Shechter thinks that he would be against it because since women are more godlike, Shosani Kirtzono, and God tells Isaiah 45, El Mistater, I'm a God that conceals himself, so a woman should follow the lead of God and also what? Conceal herself. But again, he never said one way or the other, right? Rav Soloveitchik never said one way or the other, was never explicit on the issue of women rabbis, right? Although some of his Talmidim are clear that he would be fully opposed. Okay?
Rav Moshe said no.
Rav Moshe said no. Rav Moshe said no. But Rav Bakshi Doron said yes. Okay? If you go to page 3 again, it's page 3, source number 10. Avram, you have that? This is from a book written by Rav Soloveitchik's Talmud, Rabbi Aryeh Frimer, in box number 10. Thus we have shown that the Rab believed that women serving as communal rabbis was forbidden. That's his opinion, both because it is a minu kahal and because of the position of Sarara. Logic dictates that he would also have opposed rabbinic ordination, whose primary and declared purpose is to certify the suitability of candidates such a position. This in no way contravenes the fact that a large cadre of leading poskim have disagreed to varying extents with the Rav's sole reliance on the Rambam, who says that women should not be in a position of a rabbinic leadership. Again, you see the Sefer Chinuch did not agree with the Rambam. His analysis of Sarara and his distinction between Sarara and Minukal. Furthermore, many poskim accept the efficiency of democratic elections as a means of circumventing Sarara considerations in other communal leadership positions, such as shul presidency, and elected political positions would be okay. And they may well feel the same about rabbinic positions. Others have invoked a variety of additional factors, inter-custom, modesty. In the latter case, as a result of all these considerations, it will not be a simple matter to come to what? Final ruling on the issue of women's ordination. But despite this controversy between Gedolah Poskim as Talmidim of Rabbeinu Harav Yosef Dov Soloveitchik Zatzal, we owe this Gadol Hador the honor of what? Consideration of involving him in our deliberations, even though he never what? Never was explicit on the issue of women's rabbi, although some of his Talmidim are clear that he would be opposed to it, okay? But he never said one way or the other. So what do you see, Sharona? That it's not so what? Clear. I mean, Rabakshi Doron and the Sefer Achinuch, two superstar, a modern superstar and a superstar from 1200s, both say that it's okay. Yes?
My husband discussed this with Rabbi Kevin in the Grus.
Rav Rakevet.
Yes.
Aaron Rakevet, yes.
In the Grus Kolo.
Right.
And the discussion was that just as you saw the reform movement lose its men until it was basically women who were in all the leadership roles.
Right.
Even a joke is attached of the young boy who's raised in the reform tradition.
Right.
And he's tugging on his mother's sweater saying, "Look, Mom, the rabbi's a man." Since women,
the rabbi's a man. Where did that come from?
Since women have a higher level of spirituality.
Bino Yetera.
You know darn well in every shul, it's the sisterhood that really runs
That
things.
runs the things,
So
right?
there'd be a short hop before women would take over.
Right.
Men might be relegated to a completely secondary position.
So therefore,
They won't let
we have to protect our turf. What? Right, David? Yes?
There's a subtlety here which I think we're missing.
Go ahead.
With respect.
Go ahead.
Notice, for example, Rashi Doron didn't talk about rabbis.
No, what did he talk about? No.
Most rabbis in America today, all Reform, all conservative, and many Orthodox are nothing more than glorified social workers. In that case, how many people go to a rabbi with a shiva on a chicken?
Yeah.
Right? Lora Haror means you paskin shiva.
So he says a woman can do that, but Gedoyla Hador, he says. Rabbi Yaakov. Gedoyla Hador.
No, he's on Mora Hora'ah.
Look at the beginning.
Yeah, he's not
Box
calling
number.
rabbis. He says they can paskin shiva.
And Gedoyla Hador.
You have
Okay,
to
so
look- you have to look to-
arose by any other name. So don't call them rabbi, but they can still function as a rabbi.
When you address this question,
Go
you have
ahead.
to say, what do you mean by a rabbi? Okay, we know what a woman is. I think we know what a woman
Right.
is. We know what a man is. I'm
Right.
not sure anymore.
Right. Today,
What's a rabbi?
the Ligbit, LGBT community. Lubavitch, Ger, Bells, and Tells.
All right.
Whoa. That's the Ligbit community, right, David?
When I'm not finished. Wait.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
Slightly different topic. It is true that men are more predatory toward women
Right.
than women are toward men. That's a fact of life.
That's all right.
However, I once had a conversation with the Kapishnan Rebbe,
Right.
Zecher Tzadik L'Bracha, and he told me an interesting problem.
Right.
There are guys learning in Kollel whose wives are working. The wives go to work dressed up, perfumed,
Right.
and everything else, and they get into trouble. And that itself, not necessarily a man starting up with them. They're in an atmosphere while the husband's sitting Tehillah in a Kollel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different world today, and it's not as simple as we, just as we said. With all due respect, no misunderstanding,
Okay.
right?
I hear what you're saying. But go ahead, Rivka, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to point out today, in these days, the last 30, 40, 50 years, things move so quickly
Right.
that they haven't
Maybe
been
too
in-
quickly.
In hundreds, I'm not talking about religion,
Right.
anything. Hundreds and hundreds of years it took for something to happen, which today happened.
Right.
So that this as well, I'm sure, maybe not in my time, you're younger.
In 20
Your
years,
time,
I think there'll be
that-
many Orthodox
that there will be
Jewish
many
rabbis.
changes.
In 20 years, Yehuda, mark my words, in less than 20 years, it'll be accepted, it'll be Orthodox
We
ready
had
rabbis.
a woman president. I had one in Young Israel, Petach Tikva,
Right.
an Orthodox shul, everybody Orthodox, and she didn't get harassed, and she was wonderful.
Right.
A woman president of the shul.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So no, not necessarily a problem.
Why the man speaks under the chuppah? What is it? Harei at mukudeshes
That's the
li.
last time he's going to speak.
The last time he gets a chance to open his mouth, right? No, why does the husband break the glass under the chuppah, not the wife? The last chance to get to put his foot down. Right? That's it. It says, Harei at mukudeshes li. That's why God created Chava last. Why did he create Adam first? Because he created Chava first, Adam would not be able to open his mouth. Right? So therefore he had to create Adam first. At least get a chance to open his mouth, and then he created Chava. Otherwise, right?
Who would have named all the animals?
It reminds me of a story. Hanukkah is coming up, Moshe. All my stories are true, but some didn't happen yet. This boy comes home from 4th grade. He says, Ima, we have a Hanukkah play they're putting on in the class, and I got the part to be the father of the family. So his mother says, great, but next time, sonny, ask for a speaking part. Sam, get it? Next time, ask for a speaking part. Okay. Anyway, the woman remained silent. Baal Shem Tov says, when Mashiach comes, then you'll hear kol sasan, the kol simcha, kol chatan, the gam kol kala. Because then we'll be ready on a higher spiritual level to hear her holy words. Now we're not ready yet. But the man says, Hareyat mukudeshet li. What's he saying to her, Chava? Hareyat mukudeshet li.
You are
sanctifying to me. So Rapam Zatzal, what he's saying is, I cannot attain my full level of Kedusha without you. You hear what he's saying? Hareyat mukudeshet li. In order to reach my level of Kedusha, full potential, I can't do it without the woman. That's what he's actually saying.
It could be a different interpretation.
Go ahead.
I think that you're sanctified to me, and no one.
He's good. That's a simple level.
Yeah.
But that's a simple level. To me and nobody else. But Rapam Zatzal also said, what he means is, I cannot reach my full potential of Kedusha without you. Isn't that amazing?
Rabbi,
Yes?
we go in the Jewish religion according to the majority.
You're right. The majority
of
do not agree with Rabbi Doran and not with the
they're
Chinuch.
not
Okay?
counted in the majority.
Okay. But you see that it's not so simple.
The rabbis are counted in the majority, and I would say,
Right?
maybe you can correct me,
Yes.
that both in the past and present, the overwhelming majority of the Orthodox rabbinate is in the Haredi community, not in the modern Orthodox community. And I think 20 years from now, you're going to see less involvement of the modern Orthodox and them taking over.
But Bakshi Doran is not modern Orthodox. Bakshi Doran is a super Haredi Sephardi chief rabbi.
He's not the rule, he's the exception.
He's the exception to the rule.
Sephardi or majority here.
The Sephardi.
Majority are
Yes.
saying that women cannot be rabbis.
Okay.
So,
But it,
overwhelming majority, and even these modern Orthodox are being taken over by the Haredi community
Rabbi Riskin
because they're not
hired a female rabbi to be his assistant in Efrat. Rabbi Riskin?
Not considered the majority.
What?
Riskin is not. Maybe the
She's not
majority
anymore?
can't consider it.
What happened? But she was his assistant, and she had a title of rabbi. She lost her job. I don't know. Rabbi Riskin's assistant.
Lost her job?
That's what the Nechama says. She lost her job.
How about Rabbi Lau?
Rabbi Benny Lau also had. Rabbi Benny Lau has a woman rabbi as assistant.
He says she's
Is
not.
that
He didn't call her around.
What did he call her?
Did not call her around.
A rose by any name is still a rose, right? It's semantics. But Rabbi Benny Lau, the Ramban Shul, has an assistant rabbi, a woman.
He has a-
And he is an acknowledged Orthodox rabbi. Rabbi Benny Lau.
Rabbi Riskin is not considered to be.
What about Rabbi Benny Lau? Rabbi Benny Lau.
Just yell out.
All right.
So hard.
You see, the question is
I'm wrong. You tell me that he is part of the majority.
the question is open. Okay. As Rabbi Norman Lamb says, he says it so. What's the word, Album? Succinctly. You look at source number 7 again. Norman Land, side 7, box 24. See that? He says it so clearly. See box 24, Avram?
Yeah.
Rabbi Norman Land, he's not accepted. The president of YU, a big Talmud Chacham.
Accepted by YU.
There are certain things that are acceptable only in the long run. I approve of the idea of increasing the role of women in religious life and think it's important. At the same time, things have to be done gradually.
He's not accepted by the
To have a woman learn Gemara a generation ago would be unheard of. But with time, things change. Time answers a lot of questions, right? So my answer when I was asked from a reporter, what do I think about women rabbis, was, it's going too fast. I did not say it was wrong. I did not say it was right. It just has not paced itself properly.
That was 2010.
2010, this was 7 years ago. I was criticized. People ask, you mean that al pi din, women can be rabbis? My response was, I don't know. Are you so sure they're not allowed to be? Okay, so stay tuned, yes?
And I understand your talk about should women be rabbis.
Right.
But what I'd like to understand
Is,
who checks up on rabbis?
Who
I have been reading the newspapers, and there are so many of them should not be rabbis.
You're right.
There is so much going on that they should all be investigated.
All?
I worry
I don't know about
about
even me? Even me?
Everybody.
Except me, right? Not me, not me.
I was the president of a shul
Yeah,
with a rabbi, an Orthodox rabbi, but there was no Orthodox shul in the area, so it was a conservative shul. It was Rabbi Tenler's brother-in-law who was the rabbi. The only thing conservative in the shul was sitting together.
Uh-huh.
There were no microphones, nothing. Everything was followed.
okay, all right.
And I'm telling you that I'm sure there are many women
That,
who would fit into the role of rabbis better than some of the
Right.
ones that are
Right.
abusing their students and stuff.
all right. We have to leave early today because organization rented the hall.
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the Bell. Thursday, 2 o'clock, current events in the Haftorah. Thursday, 2 o'clock, current events in the Haftorah.